This design here says Geronimo in the language of the Time Lords, Circular Gallifreyan, and I'm going to be using this grid to show how it says what it says. You read starting at the bottom and then you go counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time. And that's why our first letter, our letter G, is going to be down here at the bottom of this circle. And a G is a deep divot because it's in the top row. So if you look at this section here above my finger, you'll see at the top of it, there's this horseshoe shape, or like an omega. And that shows what the whole row to the side of it is. And the next row is a floating circle, and the next row is a shallow divot, the bottom row is a crossing circle. And then the columns are made up by different dots or lines on the letter stem. And in this last column here, there's one line modifier. And that's where you find the G. It's up at the top here. And a deep divot with one line modifier is a G, and this is what it looks like in an unraveled version, and here we have our G there. And this one line sticking off of the G is the line on the G. We can put vowels inside consonants. So right now this is the E by itself, but we can actually put a G inside the E. So that's a GE together. And an E is the central vowel. You put the E right in the middle of the consonant that it's attached to or centered on the line of the word circle. And that's why our little E guy is down here. And the vowels, they're over here in the grid. And then we have an R with an O on it. So instead of being centered like an E, an O is internal. That's why it's on the line of the consonant stem. So here is the O on the R, and then an R has 1, 2, 3 dots because it's in the 3-dot column, and it's a shallow divot because it's in this third row over here. And then we have an N with an I on it. The N is a full circle that's floating inside the word circle, so second row, one line sticking off of it here. The I has a line going inwards towards the middle of our word circle. So this line connecting up to the I is going inwards, and then this line connecting up to the N, it can go whichever direction it wants. And then our last consonant is an M, and it's a full circle, and it has 3 lines. And those 3 lines are easy to see here. Over here, it's a little tricky. So here's that letter stem, and there's one line here, and then this thick line curves around and ends both here and ends here. So it's okay that the same line curves around and ends on the same letter twice. It still counts twice, because lines count wherever they end on a letter stem. And then our very last letter is this little O hanging out inside the word circle all by itself over here. So that's Geronimo.